Welcome back to Spellhammer Farms, and this is episode 10 of our survival series on the Elm Creek map. What I learned last time with this bunker is that I don't want to pile it too close to the opening because it spills out. And spillage is not good because then we have losses. So let's unload here. We have 55,000 liters in the other pit, which is awesome. Like I said last time, I'm not doing the math, and that's on purpose because I want to be surprised. I may not even look at the sale price of silage before I go sell it. 5% already. That's going to be fast. I bet by the time we sleep, they'll both be ready. And this has 15,000 liters. So we're going to have probably close to 100,000 liters of silage by the time we're done mowing this second field. Speaking of which, let's get over there and get that field mode. It's much smaller, so it should be a little bit faster. And I do believe we're on to our last swipe of this mow. It would help if I didn't just mow all of our meadow grass every time I swooped out of the field, but that's okay. Just more grass for us to pick up. I'm actually kind of curious about volume. Maybe it's worth mowing all the non-field grass we have out here. I don't know. On our way back to dropping this off, I am going to flip around a little bit and pick up some of this loose grass that's left on the ground here. May as well not waste it. It's not much, but every little bit counts. So I think my estimate of 100,000 liters was a little bit optimistic because that field ended up yielding very little. Not even 2 full loads, actually. So that's quite disappointing, but we're still going to be in pretty good shape. And we're about to be ready to tarp this up and go to sleep and maybe sell it today. Well, not today, technically. This episode, anyways. Kind of got stuck on that last drop-off. That's why that mound is so high. Hopefully, we can avoid that this time. I'll drop this mower off before I do this. And get right in there and unload. We can slowly pull forward and avoid a mountain of grass. And we shouldn't have any overflow this time because we didn't load it so close to the opening. Now, before I unhook this wagon, I'm going to try to pick up that pile over there because I realized that's chaff, which is what everything turns into, I believe, when you throw it into a bunker silo. So we should be able to pick this up and drop it off. And that's 3,000 liters. That's definitely not insignificant. There's no way I'm going to be able to back this all the way into where I want it, but let's try. Nice and slow. Well, looks like I did it. Let's go ahead and unload. We shouldn't even have to pull forward on this because it's only a couple thousand liters. There we go. We'll park this off to the side. We won't need you for a few months, little loading wagon. One thing I realized is that we really need to upgrade our tractor because this little guy, while it has done well for us, it really is quite limited in power, and going uphill mowing and pulling the loading wagon is very slow on that smaller field. Though the smaller field's kind of pointless because it's not really yielding much grass, and that may be partially because I mowed it on the first growth stage instead of waiting, but it's also very hilly, and we took up some of it with our chickens. And it's just smaller than the other field. So maybe there's a world in which we don't even worry about that field. We focus on our big field and we have a bigger tractor eventually, hopefully. Let's get this compacted down and hope that it doesn't spill out, though it looks like it's trying to already. There we go. We got it compacted. Tractor almost got stuck, but that's okay. It did not get fully stuck, so that's a win in my opinion. Let's park this silage roller right over here and hop out and get that covered up. We still have the challenge of how we're going to get it out of here. But we did have 40,000 liters in that one, 55,000 liters in the other. So I think we're actually in pretty good shape. We ended up at about 80,000 liters, which is cool. I'm just excited to see how much money that turns into. We probably won't be selling it at the optimal time, but we're going to sell it anyways because we need the cash. Before we go to sleep for the day, I'm going to go up here and check on our greenhouse and make sure we don't need to add any water. I don't think so because we really loaded it down with water on our first go. Still 13,000 liters of water. good to go for at least another day. Let's see how the chickens are on food, and then we'll get some rest. After a long day of mowing, hopefully wake up to some silage. The chickens have plenty of food. Let's go get some sleep. And there go our leasing costs. That's a lot more than I remember it being. Almost $5,000 now. I wonder why that is. What did we lease? Maybe that trailer. Maybe it's more expensive. I don't know. Let's go see how our silage is doing. Hopefully it's fully ready. That would be awesome. Hey, the grass is already growing again. You can tell we're in summertime. That's nice. Maybe we'll get another mow and load of silage this year. How we doing? 71% and 59%. So not ready. We may have to sleep again to get our silage going. But what we can do today before we do that is we can get our loading figured out. I'm pretty sure we're going to have to use our auger up there. And of course, we need to move our trailer. I wonder if I can move the trailer with this trailer. Oh my goodness. There's no way. Yeah, I guess there is a way. I can fit 2 of these tractors in this trailer, yet I'm pulling it with the tractor. So that's cool. We'll get this down here. I don't remember how much this holds. Hopefully a lot. But when it's time to actually sell the silage, we will load it up with the semi. Speaking of the semi, we actually need to go pick that up from the store because we left it there because we were being lazy. So today we'll just kind of get everything organized and ready for the silage action that should be happening either later today or tomorrow, depending on how quickly that ferments. Let me just get this stuff out of the way because I have a feeling it's going to be getting in our way when we're trying to load our silage up. Now, one question is, do we have a bucket? We don't. So we're going to have to get a bucket. Hopefully there is one we can afford because we don't have much money today. Let's see. Skid steer loader tools. We can lease it. Holds about 1,200 liters. Let's see if we can afford a bigger. Well, we don't have a bigger bucket. So let's lease this. $204. We can deal with that. And we'll swing by the store and pick that up on our way back to our farm. But you know what? We can't really sleep again because we only have $800. Boy, this is really getting troublesome, isn't it? That means we're probably going to have to do another transport contract just to survive another day without crippling debt. Another possibility is we could take out a loan to cover our costs. Do we already have a loan? I don't actually remember. Oh yeah, I don't want to stop on the train tracks. Let's get past those. Let's check. Do we have a loan? We do. We already borrowed $5,000, but I bet they would give us another $5,000 because we're going to be able to pay back the whole $10,000 once we sell this silage, I believe. It would be really sad if I've vastly overestimated how much silage is worth and we're only going to make like $5,000 from all this, but I don't think that's the case. If it is, I guess we'll call it humor and move on with our lives. But I think that's what we're going to do. I think we're going to take a loan so that we don't have to do another contract just to survive another day. And that will cover our costs for tomorrow. And tomorrow we'll be able to take our silage off to the BGA, I believe, is where it goes, which is right by where we live. So it should be a good day with some good money made, hopefully. But also, we probably have some lettuce and eggs we can sell. So maybe we don't. Our lettuce isn't going to make us enough money, unfortunately. I think it'll only make us something like $3,000 on a good day. And I don't know how much lettuce is worth right now. So yeah, we're going to go with the loan plan. With that decided, let's get back and get everything positioned up so that we can be ready for tomorrow when the silage is fully fermented. I'm still so confused as to why our leasing costs went up so much. We're at $4,500 just for leasing costs. That doesn't include upkeep for buildings or land costs or anything like that. So we're at about $5,000 per day, and we were at $3,000. I thought that was after we got our trucks and trailers and things like that, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Do we have any eggs? A few eggs. Those chickens really aren't producing much at all. They're almost not even worth having. But I'm going to stick with them because it's nice to diversify. We do have a pallet of lettuce ready, and by the end of the day, I think we'll have another. We're going to get this truck pulled down here and hooked up to our trailer, our tipper, and figure out where exactly we want to position this because we're going to have our auger as well. And in fact, we might want to get our auger down here first, get it in position, and then we'll pull our trailer underneath it. And we're going to need this guy as well. He doesn't have a hitch to pull the... No. I think the auger is going to have to drive down there by itself too, which is most unfortunate. Boy, this skid steer is slow, but we're just about there. Then we can run up to our auger and get it moved into position. So what we need is it to be in a good spot for us to easily be able to scoop, retreat, dump, and fill. So I think we need enough working room to be able to flip around. So we can probably put it about right here where my bucket's at, roughly. So I'll park here, and let's run up and get that auger moved. I can't cycle to it. That would be nice. Since I can get inside of it, you would think I could cycle to it, but that is what it is for now. I feel like this silage really has to make a difference because we're 10 episodes in, and we're running out of money every single day unless we do contracts. And I don't want to do contracts all the time. We did that big mowing contract, and it took so long. And transport contracts are kind of boring to do over and over, even though they're pretty good money and pretty fast. Speaking of boring, this is the slowest vehicle I've ever seen. I feel like it should be towed and not driven, but I don't see a way for it to be towed. You would think there would be a way to hook up to it. Wait, is that what that is? No, it doesn't have a hole in it. I don't know, but we'll get down there eventually. Luckily for you, I can cut the trip out of the video and you don't have to wait for me to drive all that way at 3 miles an hour. Well, that was agonizingly slow, but we have arrived. So let's put the input area right about where that bucket's at. Looks good. And let's get our trailer up underneath of it. Now, this is a dolly trailer, so I can't reverse it at all. I'm just going to try to get it underneath there in one swoop here. And I think we did it. Yeah, that looks pretty good. We'll find out here in a little while. But yeah, that's right over top. Okay, so now the game plan is going to be we scoop from here and drop in here, and it goes in there. And then once we're fully loaded, we take it off, make a bunch of money, right? That's the plan. But we're going to have to grovel at the bank, grab a $5,000 loan just to survive the next day without having to do some contracts. Then we will sleep, get a good night's rest, and then tomorrow we're going to make some money from our silage, hopefully. Let's find out. I'm on the roof. Wait, can I just jump on the roof? No, that was a one-time superpower, apparently. All right, let's sleep. Kind of feel like we're moving back. Wait, why are our leasing costs so much lower today? Oh, you know what? I bet it's usage because we didn't really use our vehicles much before we slept. I bet that's exactly what it is. So I guess our leasing costs are variable, but the nice thing is now we are in good shape to open our silos and get this silage loaded up. I am very excited. Let's see how this goes. We need to turn this on, and then 1,200 liters at a time. We're gonna grab what we can out of this silage pit and dump it in there. I wonder how much this trailer is gonna hold. We'll find out. Not a great start. There we go. Now we're talking. First load. Whoa, that was fast. Let's flip around. Can we dump some of it? This is gonna take a little while. Question is, can we even dump this in here like this? Please tell me we can. Yes. First load. There we go. Let's get the rest of this loaded up. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. This is taking forever. We only have about half of our smallest silo, or rather the silo with the smallest amount in it, loaded up. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna take these 20,000 liters we have off to the sell point and see what kind of money we end up with. Then we're going to lease a conveyor belt that can pick material up off the ground and load it into the auger, because at the current rate, it's going to take us all day to do this, and we'll end up possibly not making that much money by the time we pay all of our leasing costs. But let's see where we can sell this silage at. I think this one's the closest, hopefully. Yeah, I think it's behind those trees there. There it is, our beacon. So let's head off over there and sell this first load. 20,000 liters. We have about 75,000 liters left to go. So this will give us a good idea of the kind of money we're going to make. Hopefully it's good. I think it's going to be okay, but I think it might be mildly disappointing, actually, now that I'm seeing the price of silage. So let's find out. Luckily, it's a really short trip over here to the sell point. Where do we drop it off at? Okay, I guess there in those big containers. I hope it doesn't make me reverse. Please don't make me reverse up to this. Aha. Let's see. 20,000 liters. Here goes. I'm watching my money. I hope it's a lot. Looking decent. Decent. Okay. Hey, $9,000. Not bad. More than a transport contract, typically. But we need to speed this up. So let's go to conveyor systems and let's get this. Now we can afford to buy it, which I think is a good idea because we're gonna need it if we're doing silage often. This is still leased, that's fine. Let's get this. Now, how are we gonna get it back to our property? I don't know. I'll figure that out and I'll see you once it's there. And there we go. That's much, much better. We just emptied about 3,000 liters in a few seconds. It's going straight into our auger, straight into our trailer. I'm not sure what kind of area this thing covers, like when it's going to stop pulling material, but it seems to be pretty wide. I thought I was going to have to get in here with the skid steer and scoop stuff, but I don't think I'm going to, which is awesome. This is the best setup I could imagine for this. And we probably have a decent amount in here already. Yeah, we have half of what we just took off to the BGA already, and that took us a good while to load up. And this is just cranking and cranking. Look at it go. That feels great. So we should be able to empty this bunker silo out pretty quickly. We'll see if it gets all the way over to this corner. I may have to reposition, but if it does, we're going to be done in no time, and then we'll get this guy unloaded as well and see how much money we end up with for the day. And look at that. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So let's get the trailer pulled out of the way and we'll get positioned up for the next bunker silo. We're already pretty full, but we'll fill up as much as we can before we take this off to sell it. We got our conveyors in position for the second bunker silo, so let's go ahead and whip around and get under that auger. We'll see how quick this loads up. I think it will be fast. It will be very fast. There it goes, like magic. This is the way to do it. All right, next load ready to sell, and those conveyors are still in a good position. We should be good to go for a little bit before we have to reposition them. So let's run this off. Now this is a full trailer load, so it should be something like, I'm thinking like 5,000 or 6,000. No, it was $9,000 last time. So it should be maybe 11, 12. Let's see. Feels good watching that money roll in on something other than contracts. 11,175. That's not bad at all. And I'd say we have at least 3 more loads to go. So we should be sitting in a pretty good position by the time we're done. And that about wraps it up. Take a look at those bunker silos. Completely empty. This conveyor belt system worked perfectly, and if you take a look at our bank account, $38,897. That's not too bad. We've got a little bit of silage left here in the skid steer, but that's not really consequential at the moment. And actually, our grass is growing at a very good rate. It's actually ready to mow again, which is pretty impressive. I think I'm going to let it go to the next growth stage since we have time and money to cover our costs. But now that we have this silage engine going, I feel like we might be in a position to maybe upgrade our tractor and get maybe a better mowing setup. I'm not 100% sure what I want to do there, but I would like to start owning some equipment as well. Let's take a look at our chickens up here and see how they're doing, if they need any more food, and then we'll take a look at our greenhouse and make sure it's not out of water. Hey there, little fellas. How you doing? Looks like you have a little bit of food. No food. So yeah, we need to get them some food. Too heavy, so I'm gonna have to bring the skid steer up here. Let's go ahead and jump into that really quickly and get that done. The question is now, where did I put my pallet forks? Hopefully I left them somewhere reasonable. Probably up on the flatbed, actually. Let me just leave this bucket over here because I'm probably not going to need it for anything except for the bunker silos. This field's actually going to be on the second stage of growth tomorrow as well. One thing is their yield bonus is 75%. That's not too bad. We can get a grass roller, and I believe that will improve it, but it sets it back a growth stage, so I'm not sure exactly when the best time to do that is. I don't want to do it right now because I don't want to wait a whole nother day for it to be in the second stage. Let's get up there and grab those forks. Looks like we actually have, do we have 3 pallets of lettuce? My goodness, that greenhouse has been working hard. And as we think about next steps, I want to reduce how much we have leased. We do have the lease to own mod on, so I'll take a look and see what the cost of buying some of our stuff is. But I don't think we're going to be doing these big transport contracts anymore. So it's likely that we'll be able to let that big flatbed go. Maybe our semi and just lease a bigger tractor, which might end up being a net positive as far as cash flow goes. And just tilt that in there. Perfect. So our chickens are good for today. Let's go check on our greenhouse. But yeah, I think we can maybe let this go, get a smaller flatbed just for transporting our produce and our eggs and things like that, and then let the semi go. We'll take a look at our leased inventory and see where we're at. Plenty of water. Look at that. 10,655 liters. Plenty of water. This is going to just keep cranking out lettuce. So that right there is about $4,500, I believe. So that's really good. Let's take a look at this current situation with our leased items because we need to start thinking about next steps. We own this trailer. Is this the one I guess that's the one that we're using. Yeah, that's cool. We own it. I forgot that we bought that. Great. We own our water wagon. We own our belt system. We own our silo compaction. So we own some things. That's good. But the big stuff we do not. The skid steer, let's see how much it would be to purchase it. $43,000. Just no. Way out of budget. And I really don't feel like we need the skid steer anymore. Truck is going to be just a lot. $52,000. Tractor, maybe $52,000. My goodness. Why is that so much? That's not that expensive of a tractor, is it? Loader tools, this doesn't really matter. Low loader, $24,000. I just feel like it's overkill, especially if we're getting rid of the truck. Mowers, this would be a nice mower to own. $8,000, that would be good. And then if we leased a bigger tractor, we could go and get a rear mower. I like this setup. I like these two here. I like this on the front and then this rear mower as well. We could actually afford to buy both of those, but we need money to lease a tractor also. Oh, there's this. That's got pretty good coverage, actually. I wonder if that can go. I think this has to go on the front. No, it looks like it would go on the rear. That might not be a bad call for mowing, especially if we're going to start doing our mowing separately. Right now, we're just kind of doing everything all at once, but I don't think that's the most efficient. I think we need a good mowing setup. And look at this. This goes on the front. I mean, that's going to get us pretty good coverage. 2 meters and then 7 meters. So a total of something like 9 meters versus 3.1 and 4.4. So actually, we'd end up roughly the same, maybe a little better with these cheaper lizard mowers. So maybe we'll do those. They're cheap. We can own those. But the question is, do we have a tractor that will run them? I'm not sure. Is there anything on sale? We really have to wait for something to be on sale, I think, for getting a tractor because I guess we could lease it. That was what I was talking about previously, is leasing a bigger tractor. I think we want to step up to medium if we're going to do that. Let's see what our cheapest option is. I believe there's one under 100,000. This John Deere's not bad. It has the front attachment area, rear attachment, 190 horsepower. So this would do good work for us. The lease is not bad. Not bad at all. We could afford it, especially if we drop some other things. So we would need this, which is about 5,000. Then we would need a smaller flatbed, which is going to be under trailers, I believe. No, it's under miscellaneous. That 8,000. So we're at 13,000. Then we need a new mowing setup, which we'd like to own, because this we'll buy, right? Then a new mowing setup, which would be that lizard setup, because that's the cheapest I think we can get. Where are my mowers? Go over here to our mowers. 13,000 plus, say, 8,000. So we're at 21,000. So far, so good. Then we have a windrower we would need. Our forage wagon's fine. We'll probably keep that unless one goes on sale and we can buy it. But we would need a good windrower, maybe something a little wider than this. I really like this one. Maybe we would lease that. Yeah, I think that's what we're going to end up doing. Now that we have some money in the bank and a way to make more money, I think it's time to do some upgrades. So let's do this. Let's go ahead and end this episode with these upgrades. Let's get rid of our truck. Let's send it back. Let's go ahead and get rid of our low loader. We need to keep our skid steer for now, but we'll keep an eye on the used market for something small that will work. We're going to send this mower back. We're going to send this tractor back. Oh man, this is big. The rest of this we're going to keep. Now, let's start with our tractor. Let's lease our John Deere. I've never actually used this particular John Deere. Is there a cheaper one? Actually, this one might work for us because we don't need a lot right now. Yeah, we'll go with this one because it'll be a little bit cheaper. Let's lease that. Actually, you know what we could do? We could go with a front loader attacher and get rid of the skid steer. Yeah, I think we're going to do that. Let's lease this. Let's do the quick one. Got the John Deere. Now we need a front loader for it. Let's do, I guess, just the cheapest. Do we want to pay? Can we afford it? I'm not sure. We'll come back to that because I know we need the mower and everything else too. So let's get our mowers next, which are going to be those two lizard ones. We're going to buy these because they're pretty cheap. Where are we at? 26,000. So we have our tractor, our mowers. Now we're going to need a flatbed trailer, which is up here. And I am wrong. It's not up there. Again, it's down here. We're going to buy that. So we have $18,000 left. That's all we need, right? Tractor. Oh, we need a windrower, which we're going to actually lease. Go get that one that I picked out a moment ago. This one here because it's nice and big. I'm going to lease that. And we still have $17,000 left. That's pretty good. So yeah, we can definitely get the front loader for the tractor. So that's fantastic. Let's go over and get that. And then we'll be able to send our skid steer back. So we'll get this. Actually, we'll just buy this. Then let's get the pallet forks. Here we go. For this, we need the, I'm actually not sure which ones fit. Let's see combinations. Here we go. We'll just get this one and we'll buy that. Look at all the stuff we're going to own now. This is fantastic. What is that? Oh, cut sugar beets. Interesting. Schaefer. I don't need any of that. Okay, so I think we have everything we need. Now we can send back our skid steer. Look at our leased items. Not too bad. Not too bad. We can get rid of this and get rid of this. So back down to just 4 leased items and a bunch more owned items. So that's exciting. So someday we'll get rid of this scythe, but for now it's nice to have as a backup. Let's see if my plan works. Let's see if all this will attach. This tractor is chonky. Big step up from that little Landini. Though that thing did good work for us for a long time. And then grab this. Oh, hey. Oh, yeah. Look at that. That's a good looking setup. Now, can we still attach? Maybe we need to do our front loader first. I wonder if I'm going to be able to get all this. I may have to make multiple trips. We'll see. Now, this tractor we probably will aim to buy instead of sending it back since we have the lease to own option enabled. There we go. I think if we grab this and then lift it up really high, we can probably still attach the mower on the front. And we might even be able to attach the trailer underneath our rear mower. We'll see here in just a minute. This is just me trying not to make so many trips back and forth from the store. Oh yeah, that's nice. That means we don't need to be constantly attaching, unattaching, reattaching our front loader. Fantastic. Let's see if this is gonna go on too. No way. Look at this. Look at this. It's like a Frankenstein. The only thing I can't grab is the windrower, but that's okay. I'll come back for it. So this is our new setup, and I couldn't be happier. This is gonna be just fantastic. We're not gonna have all of this attached all at once, really. Actually, only the trailer is gonna be the thing that we detach, but this mowing setup is just gonna be fantastic. And then we've got our windrower, then we run over it with our forage wagon, dump it in the silage pits, and we still have $8,000 left, which means our costs for tomorrow are covered, so things are looking good. I'm going to call this episode there, and next time we will probably be in the next month and be mowing again, getting more silage, going in the pit, and maybe doing a mowing contract for somebody if there are any available. Since we have such a good setup now, I don't see why we couldn't use that setup to make us some money and avoid having to do any more transport contracts. So until then, I will see you in the next episode.